Great start to the night. Two strange matches that have come from nowhere and given us all sorts of excitement. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oceanic Nationals. Manic here. Raven over there. Yes, I got it right. Raven over there. It's good to be back here. And we've got Rhythm, we've got Noble. But before we go anywhere, any last thoughts on the LFO matchup?
Look, still quite amazed about the result, but at the end of the day, LFO, they pulled out the right changes needed to be able to get that victory, and they give themselves a chance to stay alive in the Oceanic Nationals 2020.
Yep, and speaking of moving alive, staying alive, man.
I move alive.
No, we're staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. This is the team that will need to pull out a victory in either this game or their next if LFO manage to win their next one. Anyway, you get the point. Leb, Boats, Novax, Drex, and Bouncin being back on the roster. I'm excited for that. I think he was in on Wednesday, but he missed last week, and it looked like he was somewhat sorely missed as well, Raven.
I think it was, honestly, because they ended up playing very well against LFO on Clubhouse. Really different to the playstyle we'd seen in those matches where they didn't have Bouncin. So whatever he brings to the team seems to have quite a solid effect. But we're in a similar situation here as we saw with LFO, where Rhythm, they need every victory to close out the season if they want to avoid relegations.
And one team that doesn't need to worry so much about relegations, that is Noble, who they're up against. We've got Milo, Fisher Guy, Nico, Derpe, and President. This roster was looking almost pristine, squeaky clean up until 2 Playdays ago. They had beaten Wildcard and LFO back-to-back, and unfortunately fell to Knights and Okami 7-3, Raven. Is this potentially a downward spiral for this roster?
It's definitely a concern because, yeah, they're safe in playoffs, but they were really eyeing off like a top 2, top 3 finish, and it doesn't feel like that anymore. On top of that, it's not a great time in the season to lose form, because if you're going to come into playoffs, you want to be coming in with strong form. You don't want to be coming in off the string of losses, putting that pressure on yourself, trying to bring back whatever the starlight was. So I think this is a really important match for Noble as well.
Yep, it certainly is. Now, just having a very quick look at their last couple of matches, we've seen Club a lot from Rhythm. We've seen Club once from Noble, and Oregon for the past 2 of 3 matches on Noble's side. Where do you think we're heading?
It's hard to say. I feel like Coastline is probably something that Rhythm would have liked, but I don't think Noble will let them get there. Maybe a bit of a strange side pick we might see. Something like Theme Park or Fiddler is something we haven't seen a lot of from Rhythm either. I just think something to try and destabilize things probably helps Rhythm more so than Noble.
Well, let's have a look at the storyline. Let's see whether Noble are going to ban out Coastline. First off, yes, they are. I kind of felt like that was coming after the 7-8 loss and 6-8 loss against Elevate and Wildcard. You could only imagine no one wants to play Rhythm on Coastline, which leaves us to Club. 2 maps back to back here for Rhythm, and of course Noble played this last week, so it is a map that both of these teams are quite well versed on.
Yeah, and I think this is probably just Rhythm looking at it saying, well, we played well against LFO, so we know we're somewhat decent at it, and Noble saying, hey, we've seen them play freshly on Clubhouse. They know they can be good at it in the past. They've had a shaky recent history on Clubhouse, but it used to be Noble's hands down best map. So I think that's where the rationales come from. I feel like this favors maybe Noble, but then again, Rhythm did look pretty good on Clubhouse the other night.
Look, I am really intrigued to see what Rhythm do, because we saw the effect that Buck ban had on Noble. Obviously, Nico is a nutty Buck player and just knows all sorts of lines that you don't even want to know about. So potentially, I mean, I'm only saying potentially because it's so early on right now, but potentially Rhythm may target that as well, because that really seemed to have such a large effect on the entire roster that is Noble.
Yeah, I have to agree. And honestly, I'm just going to say, given the way everything has gone tonight, this is no more guarantees. Like, I would have said on Wednesday, maybe even last night, I would have said, there's no way Noble loses this. But I'm just leaving it. I'm not going to say it. Honestly, this could definitely be a Rhythm game.
You know what? We're not going to say it, but the snowball predictions will. They will reveal what you truly think. Ta-da!
Yeah.
It is going to be all Noble across the board, and unfortunately, we've all seen what happens when it's a flush. So, I think if I remember correctly, Dev was the only person that predicted Akami in the first match. Ducky was the only person that predicted LFO in the second match, and here we have just doomed Noble to a deep, hellish loss.
Maybe that may be the case. Honestly, I feel like I'm pretty cursed because I still haven't got one right all week. There's 6 games now. There's no correct predictions. It's quite the curse in itself. But look, we'll see. I feel confident for Noble, but I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Who knows after the night that we have seen?
Seriously.
It is all sorts, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to bring you the third matchup of the night. Rhythm taking on Noble. A lot on the line for Rhythm, and we cannot stress that enough. They've got Noble tonight, and they've got Knights on Wednesday night. It could all go awry here coming in to the final 2 matches. But we do head to Clubhouse, and we will be seeing whether the target ban comes out for Rhythm.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see whether it does come out this time. The Maverick is going to be the first one off the board. It's definitely something that Noble are good at using. Also common to be used on Clubhouse. You generally take away the Thatcher or the Mav. That's always been the ban meta, so to speak. And there's the Thatcher as well. That's really going to make opening some of these hard walls difficult. Like,
Jeez.
really difficult.
That's Noble's decision as well, and they're on attack first as well. Any thoughts on that one, Raven? Going into it, you pretty much give yourself a very low chance of opening those walls.
Yeah, look, it's going to be tough. You're going to have to incorporate either verticality or just some really good usage of different kinds of utility. On top of that, no Kaid ban. So for basement defense, a lot of those hatches are probably just going to stay closed. Honestly, like Moto hatch, going to be pretty hard to open. You'll have to actually push down main stairs and physically shoot off the claw or something to that regard.
I am super interested to see how this one plans out, because obviously Nico, I just said it before, those vertical plays will probably be a lot more in favor of Noble heading into this, knowing Nico's prep. But at the same time, he was even mentioning the other day how much he's been counted on those deep lines that he's been able to find. So you never really know. Leb, cheeky little 6-pick onto the Legion. But the Kaid will be brought, and we will be headed down to church. And this could potentially be what you were just saying, Raven. Potentially we do not see any of these hatches with the potential of being open, at least Moto and the Armory side.
Yeah, and I think these teams are going to have to lean very heavily onto these defenses of the basement. If they lose those, it's not a great sign for your defense half. We did just see their community vote also contributing to cursing Noble. Heavily in favor, I would say. Rightfully so. It didn't curse Elevate, or it did curse Elevate. So it didn't curse Akami. That's what it didn't curse.
No, and the Akami vote as well was extremely close, 51% to 49%. And if you're sitting there and you're wondering, where these polls are held, it is over at the Rainbow 6 ANZ socials. So just to make sure, that is at Rainbow 6 ANZ socials on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So let's jump into it, shall we? With what should be a very interesting round that Noble decide to take here, because obviously, we said hatches, they're going to be a main point of contention. So what does Noble bring? What do Noble do to change things up here?
They're going to have to just be really quick and aggressive on their verticals, I'd say. If they can try and get good verticals in the kitchen and hold through the hallway, that's going to put a bit of pressure. And also trying to take blue, I think it's going to be important. Blue hatch is reinforced. They're not using a claw in it though, so they will be able to get that open at least. But just pressure in as many different directions as possible, because you need to spread this defense out to be able to work those picks and actually get some control of sight.
So where has that secondary claw for Novak's gone if it's not on the Armory hatch and not on...
In the pocket.
He's still got it. He's still got it in his pocket. He is ready to use that whenever it needs to be done. Nico now. He's making some constructions underneath. Might make them a little bit antsy. Not stressing just yet. slow round to begin with here, Raven. A minute 30 on the clock. And starting to feel a little bit more of the heat as we open this up.
Oh! Ooh. Just on the tail. Not quite hitting the shot, though, is Nico. It's lucky to be alive and even have as much HP as he does, to be honest. But again, I think this is working pretty well for Rhythm right now. It's quite a stall from Noble. They're still trying to get some kind of vertical play happening. And, you know, Rhythm are just holding strong here.
That they are for now. The minute mark ticking down. And Noble are still yet to deal with either hatch, so potentially they may have to make a different decision here. What is going to be the call? Looks like they're trying to find a line, and they can't really be given anything just yet. Have they folded? Have they decided to move away? No, but bouncing. He will catch Fisho. And all of a sudden, oh, that is nicely done. They're in trouble here.
They are. They've just got very little control. They haven't been able to open any of these hatches. There's just Rhythm players spread out everywhere. Leb in Moto, potentially not even spotted. He doesn't whiff that shot. He hits them, doesn't close out the other. It makes it a 3 versus 4. Looks like it's going to be a good round for Rhythm.
Certainly is. 10 seconds left on the block. And, well, President's going to go down the second he comes in. A huge hold here from Rhythm. Nico cannot get anything done. Diffuser's too far away. He won't even be given a consolation prize. In fact, he'll be sent home packing Novax to clean up the round. And that is a great start from Rhythm.
Yep, and again, those basement defenses are going to be critical to be won because it should be that hard. Like, Noble should be struggling to attack that because you've got that Maverick and Thatcher ban, and Kaid is through. So it's going to be near impossible to open most of those hatches. And then even then, if they've just got the wall electrified, for example, you can't get verticals onto Church Wall. It's just that site is so hard to attack with the way that these bans have been laid out.
Mm. And you can see as well the turtle just like, no, like why do you feel the need to roam or put pressure on any of those players when they really have to be the ones that make the big decisions? They're the ones that have to try and go for those more aggressive plays. It allows you to sit a little bit deeper and play with the hearts. For now, we're headed to Jim in the bedroom, and we will see Novax swap onto the Bandit and likely try to give it a little cheeky trick. And even then, how do you potentially deal with the charges?
Yeah, they're going to have to very riskily get control of the balcony or the roofing outside Gym. Open Gym window, open Gym doorway, so they can actually get line of sight to those charges. That's generally the safest way. I don't even know if you call it safe, because to do that, you really need to get CCTV control, because otherwise you get peeked down from CCTV. It is quite sketchy. And again, Clubhouse, with no Maverick and no Thatcher on attack, does just make attacking quite hard. It's not simple, that's for sure.
We'll see what Noble are really able to bring, how different they're able to change things, how much they're able to change things, I should say. They will open up CCTV very early on, and Bouncin and Leb posing the question, which is, how well can you take this? They've got two players at either doorway. Leb ready to either swing for the support or ensure that there's no real pressure being put from Garage either. And Boats is just making sure that nothing comes into con without his knowing.
Yeah, heavy stack on this side, so Noble really are prioritizing taking CCTV. Maybe they will not even try get Jacuzzi Wall. Right now, they're all stacked here, a lot of attention. Might be a late game thing. Fisho takes off the head of Blair. That's a nice shot there, and whiffs though onto Bouncin. Trade comes out. He's able to retake that spot at the top of stairs. Gets another, in fact, onto President. This could be falling apart for Noble already.
He's going to stay there as well. Nico with an unbelievable nade. Cooked to perfection, and Bouncin has nothing to say about it. That is a really nice way to push the players back onto site, and it's exactly what's happened here for Rhythm. Nice work from Nico.
Yeah, not like it was free though. Of course, Rhythm did get 2 picks out of that, so maybe they wouldn't be too unhappy about having a 3 versus 3 coming into the last minute. They're all just back on site now. You can see them in those outlines. Noble, of course, they don't have control over on that west side. They've got nothing to cut that hallway rotation. Mosaic's on quite the run here. He's going to go for a C4. Free place, looks like.
Bomb located by attackers.
Saw that little less than a week ago, just in logistics there. And Milo now opening up. I believe that's exactly where that C4 is placed as well. So should they go in there, it might just be good night for them. Derpe leading the charge. Milo, don't go in too close. This could be it. This could be everything that they've been asking for. The C4 is not going off yet, Raven. 20 seconds. How much intel do they have as they come around the corner? Derpe, surely the audio cues will be coming in. What does Novax decide to do? Nothing, in fact. He backs away off the angle, Raven. A 2v3, 10 seconds left. This has to be an explosion.
10 seconds remaining.
It does. Milo pushes in through from Con. Novax finds one though. It is traded. It's all up to Novax and the whole way. He's gone into logistics. Derpe's gonna have to chase. He gets the nice headshot. Unbelievably done by Noble. I thought Rhythm had that one in the bag. Well played from Noble to bring that one back.
I'm not gonna lie, the suspense of that C4 was killing me.
Oh, me too. I wonder what happened to it.
I have no clue, but whatever's happened, it may have just cost them the round there, and obviously heroic play from Derpe to ensure that he finds that last player, but it was actually a really well-contested round from both teams. I think potentially the smoke player was not expecting Derpe to be swinging through the other side of it, so whatever's happened, it has well and truly happened. We're going to pack up shop and head to CCTV for our third round.
Attackers need to locate
Just
and
thinking
defuse
more
the
and
bomb.
more about that. Maybe the smoke player, I can't remember who it was, maybe they were waiting for that C4 to be blown. They weren't trigger ready, you know? And then they got swung on and that was it, too late. I don't know. I'm really not sure what happened to that C4, but I think it could have been the nail on the coffin for Noble in that round if it had if it had gone off.
Certainly would have been, and it's not like they didn't have the audio cue either with Derpe on the other side, so whatever's happened, let's move on from it. Let's not dwell on it too much for Rhythm, because I'm sure they will not be happy in losing that round. It did look really good for them so late in the round to be able to find the diffuser as it was being planted. And it really did come down to milliseconds in it for Derpe.
Locate a bomb and defuse.
Now, they will be asked to step up once again here, and we do have to stress that this very much is Noble in favor of this game, and by a high percentage as well, regardless of how well Rhythm have played throughout the season, which they have done. There is no denying that. Bouncing, as per usual, did we expect anything from him? He is an absolute menace when he roams.
Yeah, definitely. I remember us casting the Coastline game against Elevate, I think. He just could not sit still. He was everywhere on that Jaeger. So definitely something that Noble will have to be careful of. Right now, Rhythm look like they're showing up. They really are with Noble. But I do want to say, I feel like this is going to be one of those games that will sway one side because of that Maverick statue ban.
Yeah.
That's likely, at least, to be the case.
I think I would have to completely agree with you on that statement. That's a really nice way to ensure that they can't stick around. Fisher guy comes from underneath and just dismisses any utility on those walls. And now with that, they have both walls open, and doesn't necessarily make anything too complicated for Rhythm. It looks like they're completely prepared for that. Bouncin is still all on his lonesome.
That's how he likes it, I reckon.
Yep.
I'm surprised that Noble didn't try contest that verticals more, because that's how you protect the wall. I mean, like, perfectly executed by Noble, that's what you need to do to get it open. The utility and banditry. But yeah, I expected maybe more of a contest there from Rhythm to at least delay it.
Oh,
Oof.
Nico? Hello? Nico? Hello? What? Was he watching?
Thrown at the hallway door,
Oh,
I say. Yeah.
you're dirty!
Looked like he was prone.
Oh, that's nasty. Bouncing is none the wiser for it either. as Nico can now look to take with the rest of the team. Construction not only is open, but in the full hands of Noble as well here, Raven.
Yeah, and now they've just gotten line of sight all the way through to Cash, or it looked like it was even a rotate. So I'm really dubious how Rhythm have allowed them to just open so much. I mean, the vertical play for sure for CCTV wall, but allowing this one into Cash, quite deadly. Noble looking pretty good in this round. 30 seconds to go. I think they are starting to look pretty set to be able to attempt a plan at least.
Fisher guy with a really nice line to ensure that at least one of those players out on rafters does not have any impact in this game. Does he see the foot? I think he's just seen it as well. He's trying to hit that behind, but he can't do so. 10 seconds left as now that plant, it does have to be stuck. 8 seconds, it's slowly dwindling away. They just make it through in time. Milo's going to stick that. The cover from President isn't enough. You bet your bottom dollar it's enough. Boats will find one, and he's still got 3 more to go. But Nico will ensure that he trades out promptly, and that will be a Noble round.
Will be a Noble round. It looked... Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, just to think of it, there was actually a possibility to deny that. Oh, that was mighty close.
He might have been able to sneak around that corner. Yeah, the cover might not have caught him. It's definitely happened before. But that really looked like it was going to be a Noble round from the get-go, and I think Rhythm need to rethink how they position themselves and hold that, because they just need more presence off site. They need to protect those verticals, and they need to maybe contest more on the other side to stop them getting such easy control of construction, because they had the Kaid. I'm not sure where the electricals were. Maybe they were all protecting that CCTV wall and that was it. I don't know.
They also had the bandit as well, so very, very interesting as we now head on to the 4th round. Noble have done, I mean, you got to say, you know, like, as much as Rhythm may not have played that as we would have expected, Noble has still done a good job at least putting themselves in the position to win these rounds. So this will be a big one for Rhythm, because I think I would have to fully agree with you on this front when it comes to this being heavily defender-sided with Thatcher and Maverick both being banned. This could be a really hard time for Rhythm if they cannot convert this at a 4-2 half.
Yeah, in particular, again, if they lose this site in particular, that's quite the red flag. I would say Noble will be able to potentially start to run away with it if they can't successfully defend base and with these bans and Kaid available. Like that electrical, for example, should be near impossible to get. Noble would have to push down main stairs and actually get a solid peek into Moto to use maybe Zofia or a frag grenade or something.
And once again, he will keep one in the pocket for that kitchen hatch, and I believe he actually pulled off the magical trick for Milo, looking to open that in the previous round as well. So you would pretty much expect a 2-2 scoreline after this round, and the thing is with expectations, they're there to be broken, just like rules. So we'll wait and see. Nico now opening up those long lines from Logistic down underneath Kitchen. We know the kind of damage he can cause on those lines, but he will come back down as Noble have that first floor completely in their control. No roams from the room.
No, I think the decision to not roam is probably okay, given just the strength of turtling on this side. And Noble are doing a great job with their time management. They have gotten in quicker than last time. They are starting to get some good verticals. That is not a great C4 there from the Pulse of Leb. It's given Nico more holes, if anything. Here we go. Noveix gets the big C4 onto Derpe. That's big, because that's the ace.
Yep. Yep, that's a big one. And I don't know whether any of the Selma charges were used either. This could be disastrous. Noble, I believe, I thought for a second that was potentially the hatch open as they now look to come across here. Noveix is nowhere in sight, so this should be the armory hatch open for free, and that it is. At 50 seconds. Oh, no, it's not. That was nice from Boats to deny.
It was. 40 seconds now. They've got no entries to site. They can't just run down main stairs. Moto is still being held. They can't put through Kitchen Hatch. It's going to be very, very difficult to execute for Noble. Rhythm just need to hold their ground.
Peek it, peek it. Oh, see you later. Nico well and truly ready for that one. And now there's the opportunity. This should surely be the opening. They're going to watch it a lot harder this time and ensure that there are no impact tricks. 10 seconds left. They do have Armory Hatch open, but once again, a 4v4. Boats will find one. It's bouncing to continue the trend. President and Nico make it possible. The diffuser is not in hand, and it's going to be a rhythm round and only by a hair, Raven. But nonetheless, they convert a second successful defense in the basement.
They do, but boy, only just. Noble really, they had 2 versus 1. They could have probably, one of them could have stuck the plant. Nico could have just hung out over at AK Racks or something. I don't know. I felt like that was a bit of an oversight to push for the frag. Maybe not. 2-2, staying close. Gym Bedroom was the other one that it felt like Noble could have hung on to. So let's see if they can, I mean, not Noble, sorry, Rhythm. So if Rhythm can hang on to this, I'd say they've set themselves up for a pretty decent half. But I think if Noble do get the next 2 rounds in particular, seeing as we can't see a basement defense anymore, probably a bit of a danger sign for Rhythm.
Certainly so. It'll be great to monitor, and I would say quite stressful for Rhythm, because once again, we do lean back into this, which is the unfortunate news for Rhythm, is that they are facing relegation playoffs, and should they not convert this match, you would have to assume that they are not going to convert the match against Knights. And that is really just based on form and how well Knights have played this season. So it really is do or die here for the squad of Rhythm, and this is where we need to see them step up massively.
Attackers are moving out to
I think this is something that we did not see prior, which is those the bandit charges being used early on the wall of CCTV, because in the attack before Raven, Noble had opened it with 30 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, it looks like they are spreading out that wall denial, which is good. If they can slow down Noble's take of that east side across Cash and CC, probably going to set themselves up much better late game. Lev and Bounce duo there are going to be the ones to be trying to anchor in on this Cash side.
Drone activated.
A lot harder to deal with. Not for too much longer, though. God, speak of the bloody devil and he shall appear, I'll tell you that much. The Salmon charge is now going off, CCTV wall being opened. This time, just the one. They're not going to open up both sides. Bouncing on the close corner of top red as Fisher Guy once again just comes in, all guns blazing. Raven, they are really intent on pushing these players out.
Yeah, well, Fisher with the LMG, he can just pre-fire everything. He's just got so much in the clip before he has to even think about reloading. Here he goes again. Somebody keen. It's Leb, I think. Yeah, keen to peek that. He does tag up Fisher, but not much. That's Fisher's angle through and through. And here we go. They've got a swift take into Cash. Now Bouncing is taken off. Last time he was the impact Rhythm. It's looking very good for Noble.
That pre-fire for Fisher is working an absolute charm. You would have to assume he had intel on that second player trying to rotate back into Cash. Oh, that's nice from both. You'll get away with it as well. It gives them a small glimmer of hope here. A 3 versus 4. You still have both hard breaches on the side of Noble. You still have a fair bit of work to do, as Cash still not being taken in control of Noble just yet.
No, but they're starting to get some good control. But the fact that they're not getting Jacuzzi Wall open does still make it a touch more comfortable for Rhythm. They've got sections of the map they can sit back in now. See whether they can deny this entry into logistics as much as possible, because that's really the only other map grounds that Noble could really expect to obtain.
I believe they just shot out all the middle of those Habana pellets, the ex-Cairo, so there's absolutely no way they can get a little bit more push, into that logistics, and you can see they're just going to completely dismiss it. It is soft, actually, and I don't know whether they still have enough to get in there, so they're going to have to go straight to side here. They are going to be pre-fired as they come around the corner. They've still got Nico coming from logistics, so that's important to note. Fisher guy, he goes deep, but he'll be traded out. It's unbelievable from Rhythm to hold on for this long. Durpe trying to find some free kills, but Boats will come in the end to clean up the round. Rhythm, they will take that round, and it leaves us at 3-2.
Just again, the strength of those bans just meant that Jacuzzi Wall can't be opened. So our change is how Gym Bedroom plays out. It's usually a lot of maneuvement. Oh my god, I can't speak right now, but it's a lot of space that you would normally rotate through, right? That you can't cut off. So that it's allowing them to play more comfortable. So even though there was 3v5, those Rhythm players had solid positions that could not be disturbed, only from the front. So they had to just go head on. Good that Rhythm held on. This is really important now. If they can get a 4-2 half, I think Rhythm are in a great spot to potentially, you know, push this match to be theirs.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
That is a fair shout, Raven. So you will have the Bandit, the Mute, and they Kaid. So much for Noble to have to deal with here. But if it's anything to go off from that previous round in CCTV, they will dismiss everything that they're trying to do. And extremely interested to see how Noble are going to continue to play this. Potentially that's where those Kaid charges were in the previous Raven on Garage. We didn't see too much action there, so it's hard to spot. Thanks, we'll just put the Mute Jammers there for now. And Boats is on a little bit of a roam. Wouldn't imagine he'll be there for too long. He is slow boy.
Yep, on the Kaid, he's not going to be as quick as he's probably used to, but I like this from Rhythm. They've got so much wall denial now. They've got the Bandit, they've got the Mute, they've got the Kaid. There should be little reason that these walls are opened quickly. That being said, they didn't contest Lounge very heavily last time, and if they don't do it again, I think it's a slight mistake.
So once again, our friend Bouncin off on his lonesome, leaving the rest of Rhythm to deal with this push from Noble by themselves. And like you said, Raven, they really should have plenty there to deal with. Unfortunate for Novax there not to get that drone. It just happens like that sometimes, man.
Sometimes you just hit those rails. But yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised they've gone with the Bandit charges on the main wall, because that's the easiest to clear, just like we've seen. Electric Claws would have been probably more to play, because you can hide them in places that the attack can't really deal with. And then you could put the Bandit charges all down a garage or something, I don't know. Still harder to flush out. Either way, it's been slower from Noble, right? So Rhythm, maybe they're sitting in a better position than they were last time that Noble attacked this.
Yep. Look, I think my eyes might have deceived me there, and feel free to let me know if they did, but I feel like we definitely saw Boats throw out an Electric Claw and President shoot it from below, because I definitely saw Boats throw something to the wall, and then the Salmon charges kept going off. So potentially
maybe
that could have been big from President.
Yeah, I did not see that, so yeah, maybe. That would make sense.
And again,
Fisher
my eyes
guy,
tonight have been deceiving.
Yeah, look, it's so common, right, Manning?
Tut tut.
I was just going to say, at least Fisher guy's putting some pressure here at CCTV window, but other than that, not much pressure has been put onto site. At this stage, in the previous attack, they had started to get that construction wall open. It looks like we're getting close to that stage. It's just later than last time.
New jammers are there as well, so they will have to deal with that. And Nove still has an Electric Core up. However, if Fisher Guy continues to dismantle these players, they might not have an opportunity here. I think the Electric Core came in with plenty of time. It did, but it won't make a difference because Noble are putting pressure just with pure gun power, firepower, sorry. And with that, my word, holy moly, that is an absolute bloody onslaught from Noble as they just go straight to side.
They just went bang, and they flawless that round. It's just unbelievable. Rhythm, they're in a better position, I would say, towards the end of that round than the previous attack. But yeah, Noble, the coordination and the teamwork on that explosion was just fantastic. And here we are seeing a 3-3 half, which I'm a little worried about because I don't think Rhythm will be able to deal with the attacking difficulties as well as Noble did.
Yep. I think that is a fair assumption, and considering we know the players that Noble are, you can definitely make that assumption and no one would think you mad. They will bring that Zofia, which seemed to be quite a nuisance on that CCTV wall anyway when we were at CCTV, but regardless. For now, we are going to be going to the basement for the first defense of Noble. Once again, those Kaid charges should pretty much nullify anything that Rhythm try to do on the hatches, so they will need to look at other options.
Yeah, Kaid is 100% must pick right now on these defenses, especially basement. It's really the telltale sign here is just how well can Rhythm do with these attacks, because it's not going to be easy. Noble are a very experienced team too on this map, and I just think it's going to be quite tough. If Rhythm can get this first round, color me impressed. But I think it's going to be a big struggle.
I would definitely agree with that statement. So, Fisher now opening up just a little bit into kitchen and over the top potentially to deny any kind of utility on the other side. Should it need to, potentially a cheeky C4 over the top. Derpe just making it back, and it looks like they will actually invest into holding Dirt there. Derpe had previously placed one of the shields, so assuming that is the case, they are still happy to put a bit of presence there.
Yeah, that's good, because that means if you're not dedicating wall denial down to Dirt, that is a weak point that the attackers can take. Right now, the attackers are taking top floor. These verticals onto the main stairs, this Leb, to watch those rotates up, is again something you have to think about with Noble too, as they can be a bit sneaky. They sometimes do like to do those flanks. It's really important that you're watching that, but I don't think that's going to be something that they'll do on this basement defense. It's not something they need to.
Don't think so. Not at this point, and probably not at any point, considering the bans and considering the play style that will have to be consumed here. A turtle, an anchor, you would definitely say is best here. You can see 3 players ready for anything that they try to do on those hatches. And a really nice timing from President there to deny at least one set of the X-Kairos. I don't know whether they can get to that Kaid claw either.
Yeah, potentially not. It's going to be the real tough point here. It's just with vertical pressure in kitchen. There's 3 players in Noble all around this that could really mess up Led's day. He's going to try and drop that grenade below, but the floor isn't fully broken, so it's not going to drop all the way through. That could have been really deadly for Leb. Oh, speaking of deadly for Leb, that C4 blew up right in his face.
Oh, I actually think it was a 1 mine magnet. I think that's what caught that nade then.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he placed a C4 and I was like, hang on. No, he didn't. That's yeah, okay, that makes sense. So now Leb will try to watch that line. President, they're just going to play passive here. They do have that hatch open, but 30 seconds. They have no dirt control, so they're not going to need to put any presence there. The Goyo and Derpe will be able to pull back now as they go deep into sight. They're going to drop instantly, and Noble haven't been able to respond in time. Now they're going to have to go for straight-up gunfights. Noble have the vert control. This could be absolutely devastating. Nico with 2. Derpe comes back to help his team, but right then and there is when Leb steps up massive. And all of a sudden, a 2 versus 3. Is this almost undoable, Raven?
Potentially. The vertical play is really good right now from Rhythm. They've got great lines towards the fuser here. President's going to have to try and go for this defuse. They're both down there. Might even have to just try and meat shield this thing. But it's going to be tough. President, he's going to stick it. He's going to stick it. Did he get pulled off it? He did. Down to Milo and Drex. 1 versus 1. Milo misses the shots. It's too late anyway. This is going to be Rhythm getting the first round, Manic. Color me impressed. I told you I would be. Oh my god.
wow, what an oversight for Noble there. They'd pulled off the angle. They were happy for them to have Hatch, but they didn't stop the drop. They couldn't stop the drop. And now they are going to go that round down. A crucial round in basement as well. Potentially, we were sitting here saying Rhythm were going to have troubles, and it does not look like it just yet. They will move directly to CCTV. Not happy to reattempt that basement just yet.
I tell you what, I don't know whether production's still watching me right now, but I reckon I stood with my hands in the air for like 30 seconds, just absolutely amazed that Rhythm got that plant down almost completely. It was undenied, but it didn't look like there was much of an attempt to deny it. I'm not sure whether there was a lack of intel from Noble. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Kind of blows my mind that that happened, but hey, here we are. Noble rotating to CCTV. They're down and around right now.
Well, definitely wouldn't have picked basement of all places to be the area of effect and the area for a loss of a round at that for Noble.
Located a bomb.
And they're not opting to bring that bandit. They're not opting to bring... Oh, they are bringing that Fisher, the mute on Fisher, which, I mean, to be honest, we have seen Fisher go pretty mental on mute a couple of times, so no real concerns on that front, but we'll wait and see how they decide to hold this. No more drones through the hole, please.
No, definitely not going to happen. And looks like they've got the electric claws on the wall as well, which is going to be tough for Rhythm to deal with. Based on face value, I feel like this has definitely been better set up by Noble right now. So this is a big test here for Rhythm on how they deal with this.
See that electric claw just being placed on the other side of the brick wall, and potentially that may be the money, unless I think that has actually blown up in their face, and potentially on the back of that Ash using the gadget inside of the drone hole itself.
Bomb located by attackers.
They will get up and open up that right-hand side of CCTV now. Some really nice timing from Rhythm here, Raven.
Yeah, just good usage of their utility. Probably being, I'll be honest, probably being more coordinated than I gave them credit that they'd be able to do. So this is a really good sign, honestly, especially after they just won that last defense. Noble are on notice right now. They need to dig deep. They need to not let Rhythm get too far ahead, because I think if you give Rhythm too much confidence, it's gonna be pretty scary.
I would have to agree with you on that. And the momentum is definitely in their favor there. Milo, who we've seen pull off some cheekies before, is in fact far away from sight, looking for anything that can be given there. And Nico going off the board early. Not going to spell disaster by any means, but it's not a way that Noble are looking to start this second defensive round.
Yeah, look, Nico being that first casualty, big deal here for Rhythm. Starting to push around, take the control really early in construction. They're giving themselves almost a whole minute to be able to work site and try to get some picks. Fisher guy gets aggressive, but he's punished for it by Drex. Did take a shotgun to the face, but survived it. Again, Noble. They're on the ropes right now, Manning.
That they are. Rhythm, they could throw that knockout punch. Bouncing just pulls off the angle, and he'll find at least one President. Does he give them a glimmer of hope? If he hits that, yes. And now, with Milo left coming up red stairs, did they hear him? I don't think so. They have spotted him though, nonetheless. This is going to be incredibly hard. He will have to hit some incredible shots. He will have to be nutty, and I don't know whether Rhythm are even going to allow him to. Boats just dropping the flash and backing away. Milo still on the pistol, can't get anything done, and Rhythm go back-to-back rounds on this attacking side.
I am just amazed, Manic. They are doing well with these attacks, and Noble just, I don't know whether you'd say caught sleeping, but I thought that Noble would be excelling in his defense half right now. They have not got a round, and Rhythm are 2 rounds away from taking this map.
Now that is a big point to talk about. Regardless of what we want to say with, you know, the bans and everything like that, take those away and let's talk about this match as a whole and why this is bad for Noble. Yes, they may be okay for playoffs. Yes, they may have solidified themselves. That's cool. That's dandy. The problem is Knights defeated them 3-7 on club. Very similar to what's going on right now. Akami beat them 3-7 on Oregon. If they can't convert this game against Rhythm, we then have to pose the question. We have to be asking them what is going wrong with it toward the end of this play day, the play days, I should say, that things have really just gone awry. I mean, they beat Wildcard 8-7 on the second play day, and now Rhythm are outplaying them, and they are staring down the barrel rather at a potential 7-3 loss should Rhythm keep this momentum.
Yeah, it's not great for Noble because there's a lot of things there. One, the form into playoffs, yeah, they're secure there, but if this is the form they're bringing in, that's gonna be not great because they have to summon a whole lot of extra energy to be able to challenge. Yeah, look, there's just so many really not great things to see right now with Noble. Gotta say, maybe it's just been the ultimate edition of caster cursing from Xenox, saying that they would not lose another game for the season when they beat Wildcard. And now, I don't think they've won a game since they beat Wildcard, right? I might be wrong,
they beat LFO and only barely, going 7-5 on Oregon.
Right. So, I mean, like, either way, they have sufficiently either been cursed or they're just, I don't know. They are struggling right now.
Well, the fact that they beat Ferox 7-5 and that was as close as it was, and then the LFO game was as close as it was, starts to beg the questions for us. A lot of pressure that will be put on Noble if Rhythm take this round. Now, you would have to imagine that lightning does not strike twice in the same place for Rhythm, and that Noble are able to correct their wrongs, right their wrongs, if you will. They will back away from Blue Stairs after making somewhat of a more advanced play. Just showing face and backing away.
Gotta emphasize again, this is the defense side that should be like 90% in favor of Noble, right? Rhythm should never have got that first one. And if they lose this one,
Bomb located by
I'd be willing to say it's probably GG. I would not see Noble coming back if they lose this round.
That's a pretty hard task and a very, very true statement at this point because of the way that we've seen... Oh, run, Led. Run. Dun, dun. No, anyway, I've got to pull out a meme every now and then. He will get away, and this is going to be very intriguing now. This is looking very similar to what happened in the previous round. Leb going down, though. That changes things a little bit here.
It does. That's a very important pick because he's the one that's putting all those vertical holes. He's putting all the pressure in Kitchen. So to lose that, that's one big thing that you can do. And you know what? They only have 35 seconds. So this is by no means gone at all smoothly like it did last time. Not that I would say that was smooth. But 30 seconds, they need to start working sight now.
They do. Milo on a tight line. Here we go. Rhythm pick up the pace, but Milo hits a nice shot onto Drex as he enters into the site. Bouncing will be caught out on the backside, and Boats, there's pretty much nothing for him to do. 10 seconds left. The diffuser's on the other side of Church, and he's going to need to find 3 individual players that are nowhere near each other. It's not going to happen. Noble, this time they solidify. This time they stand up strong, and they will push this round, this map, just another round further. And Rhythm now, they can breathe easy knowing they don't have to reattempt in the basement.
I'm going to call Noble out on this though. That was still messy. Fisher guy peeking Moto with like 15 seconds to go when Milo was holding his angle from blue, I think is not necessary. It really, like, it could have gone badly. Let's say that Fisher guy dies from that peak and then they pre-fire that blue position and they get Milo. It could have gone really differently. Church control might have been obtained. It might have cost them the rounds. Sometimes it's just those small things. We talked about it earlier. It can just be small decisions, small mistakes that cost you rounds. And I thought I saw it happening. I thought it was almost exactly what was going to happen, but they held on. So here we go. It's a 5-4 in favor of Rhythm still.
Rhythm, I would dare say, will be unfazed from that round, considering we know to be true, which is that's not going to be fun. Basement is not going to be fun. And now they will go back to the site that they successfully took. And you've got to say, it was in dominant fashion as well, Raven. It looked a lot smoother from them in that case, as it was in the basement.
Yeah, so we'll see what adaptations from Noble happen right now. There are some tricky little electrical spots coming out, so I mean it's going to be helpful with these bans. But Rhythm did a great job last time of clearing this stuff. So I think that's going to be the difference here. If Rhythm can be stalled out, well, maybe the Noble will be in a better opportunity, but again, it's looking pretty swift right here. They're droning it out. There's a drone in the middle of sight that totally just peeks the wall, wasn't shot. They got all the info they needed. It's just little things like this that just Noble constantly are letting slip by, but letting Rhythm get into this game.
And you can see that ping 2.0 as well coming out on top of the Electroclaw. So it just keeps getting worse, Raven, as that drone on site will just give them way too much intel. There comes out Ash's use of the charge, and in come the opening of the walls. What can they do to stop it? Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay, well, that worked out somewhat. Some three very strange holes on that wall. Yeah, so not sure whether Rhythm will try to fix that or not. I mean, they can still use it as line of sight at the very least, which is a big purpose of that. And last time we saw Rhythm not plant there, but they did push aggressively. Yeah, I think either way that still worked out for Rhythm, but a small win for Noble.
And that's what it comes down to. The 1% is the small wins here, the small wins there. The fact that, unfortunately, Vegas wasn't able to connect that Selma just on the dot there. And of course, ping 2.0, you can see the drone is at the top of the staircase. It's giving all the information out that need be there. Vegas just waiting for him to be pushed out, dude. How?
Oh, yeah, and Drex got a shot onto Milo. Again, it is just falling apart. Noble in these line of sights of the Rhythm players. Nico has been undetected in oil pit. Or maybe he has been detected. There was a player just looking in that direction. But at the same time, oh, he's just whipped his shots. Now it's been given away. He's not going to get a shot there. He's been punished for it. 30 seconds. Manic. Ball on Fisher guy.
Well, you know what? Bullet hose, go away. You could absolutely pop off here. He will find the damage onto Novaix. He will be able to be brought back up. Don't you dare make me believe that this is possible. 20 seconds left. They're just starting to open up that soft wall. He gets by, and only just as well. And now getting pressured from all different sides. He's got the line being held from outside. And can he find this kill? I don't think he's going to be able to. If he hits that, oh, wow. That was starting to look a little bit more possible for Fisho Guy. But eventually, it was a 4 versus 1 is well and truly confirmed. And that round just snowballed out of control.
It really did. That is the best way to describe it. That being said, I too felt it. It felt like Fisher Guy had that. But that split breach in the end, and if you noticed in the kill replay, actually ended up saving Bouncin because he crouched into it and protected his head. He got the kill shots onto the knees of Fisher Guy. So somehow that came back to work out for Rhythm. And here they are, Manic. What a strange night. Rhythm are a match point.
Oh, man. It is an upsetty spaghetti night for anyone with predictions. And unfortunately, all of us casters are doing predictions. This is not good for us. But you know what? It is incredible for Rhythm. This is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly what they needed. When we decide to actually, I could make an assumption right now and start talking about playoffs and relegation playoffs and who potentially could make it. But if they win this game, everything becomes spicy in that bottom 3. And that is all I'm going to say for now. We'll go away. We'll do our homework. We'll make sure that we have every possible scenario come Wednesday. But this right now from Rhythm is their lifeline of making sure that they can potentially play in, not only get out of relegation, but also play in those playoffs for Oceanic Nationals, and then potentially the major for the Oceanic region as well.
Yeah, look, it really, if they secure this, it does make Wednesday next week all that extra spicy. I tell you what. Something that's different between the LFO Elevate match and this one, though, is I don't think Rhythm are really doing anything that different. They're playing well. They're doing team things well, and I just think Noble are not, quite honestly. I think Noble are putting themselves in really bad positions, and Rhythm are doing a great job to capitalize. That's the biggest difference here.
They certainly are. And at this point, you would just assume that Rhythm are going to run away with the map, the way this has gone. Now, one thing, we have not seen gym and bedroom being attempted by Noble on this defensive half. That's not good, though. Drex reads the rotate from Nico after he was in oil. Already off the board now. They can put a little bit more pressure on Milo. That, however, is a big kill to open things up and potentially give them a little bit more of a claw back in this.
Yeah, it is. Definitely helps. But still losing Nico nice and early is not good. Need to keep man advantage for holding this site. Let's see what they've got up their sleeves, because like you said, we haven't seen them hold this yet. But this push is just decisive from Rhythm. They have obtained very good map control in this first minute and a half. I dare say they've probably done it better than we saw from Noble in their attacks, which makes sense, seeing as Rhythm are the ones that are on match point.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
Funny how that happens. So, it's going to be quite dangerous, obviously, getting a lot of that cash. Not so much con control just yet, but just being able to push those defenders back so early on makes things a little bit more complicated as well. Derpe looks like he's in kitchen at the moment, so potentially could be looking to play for a late denial if it need be. He is getting pressured out of there. Okay, Novak's deciding to walk into the line of a bullet hose. That's okay. But what's not okay is the fact that Rhythm have now lost 2 players as Drex falls. Make that 3. Boat's the last player left here, Raven. This just is done and dusted.
Feels like it. I mean, look, Boats might be able to pull something out here, but he's got 4 full HP Noble players to find. Fisher Guy's just around this corner with a shotgun. He's going to back himself into this and gets the final kill to bring Noble to within 1 more round. We might be seeing overtime Manic, but I tell you what, I want to highlight how that was just a string of terrible decisions or mistakes from Rhythm. Started with no Vakes, just peeking that kitchen window. Why not just go to the doorway and cut the hallway? I mean, like, then Derpe's stuck, right? And then Derpe was in kitchen. They would have seen those vertical holes. Like, was that a breakdown of communication? Instantly, that lost them 2 to 3 players, and then the round was basically lost.
I'll play devil's advocate. Potentially Drex was hoping he'd get by unnoticed. That's it. That's all I've got. Potentially Drex was looking to get by unnoticed. That is the only thing I can say in defense there. We are going back to church for the last round of regulation anyway. This could potentially put us into overtime. But Raven, I'm sometimes a math guy. And 50-50 at the moment. 50-50 on this side. I don't know how I'm feeling about that.
Look, I agree. There's a couple of key things that happened for Noble to win the round last time. Leb dying mid-round was one of those, because they did not have as many vertical holes or the vertical pressure that they did when they won this. This is Rhythm. The other thing was Noble did almost, I wouldn't say threw it, but they almost put themselves in a position to throw it by just some decisions that I highlighted. So I think that just emphasizes, 50-50 round, Manic. Good man.
I am good with math. I am a mathematician, they say. So this time something a little bit different, in fact, unless... okay, they're going to fall back. I was going to say potentially on a roam this may look a little bit more spicy, but we did see this in the previous round as well. Just staying at the top of blue stairs is Milo, and the second a drone spots him, he will back away, but also needs to be cautious of that window. Novakes looking to put a little bit of pressure on there as well. And he is safeguarded by the railing and will be completely safeguarded as he backs away.
Yeah, again, very aggressive early. Wouldn't want to be giving away those early picks because it's really been costing him on quite a few rounds here. Here we go. See whether Rhythm can swiftly open kitchen hatch or not. Let's see whether Leb can survive sledging this floor. Of course, these magnets have been quite tricky to deal with too. They're not really able to effectively grenade below because it's bringing those frag grenades back to the roof, essentially using them like C4s. It's a pretty neat little strat.
It is cheeky to say the least, and a great way at the very least just making those attacking plays a little bit more indecisive. In comes the Electric Claw. It has been potentially spotted out there. We'll wait and see whether that Noble are able to deal with that or not. I don't know whether the drone caught him throwing it, but now as Novakes tries to find some of these lines, he's going to need to be really cautious here, and that grenade once again working, as you said, Raven, like a C4 and coming back to haunt Rhythm. At a minute 15, doesn't look like Noble have done a hell of a lot just yet.
Oh, I think that C4 actually just got exploded by one of those frag grenades, so kind of worked against him in that instant. And now Leb is in this kitchen. He can tear up this floor, and it looks a lot safer. There's no one really playing down there. They're going to get hatch open. This is a lot better progress than the previous rounds. This is looking much more like the rounds that Rhythm ended up winning. So can Noble have better intel here and deny this potential drop?
45 seconds, still with dirt control. Drone goes in. Fisho guy finding Drex. Good start. Now they're just going to have to back this up. 30 seconds, Raven, as we start to see players pushing down blue. Bouncin does find one, but unfortunately not a second. They've managed to jump out again unnoticed, and they're going to be able to stick this diffuser. They've still got that vertical line with Leb up top. Derpe comes in massively. Can he stop the plant? You bet your bottom dollar he can. And now Leb, he's only going to be able to find the one kill for free. Had he been able to hold that line, potentially there's something in it. But Derpe goes deep and unexpected to catch him out.
Oh, I thought Rhythm had that opening there. They had the picks when they needed to get the drop down. And again, it was undetected, right? I'm not even sure why the planters stood up. It didn't seem like they were being pressured from the church side. But at the end of the day, here we are, Manic. We got another overtime map, very much like map number 1. This one has been very back and forth. Rhythm, in fact, have generally been the ones on the front foot.
They certainly have been. All but really the last 2 rounds has it even been close for Noble. The last 2 rounds, obviously, they've played very... I was going to say firmly, but I think just strong is probably the best way to put it. They've had strong performances, and unfortunately, Rhythm have not been able to deal with them in the way that I'm sure they wish they would have. And so now we do end up looking like could start to swing back in the favor of Noble as they start on this defensive side. And just a reminder for those at home, it is 1st to 8 in overtime.
It is, and importantly to point out with that, Noble are the ones that will have the defensive rotation in their favor. Not that it's been a dramatic difference. It's actually ended up being 2-3-3 halves. But it does potentially mean, you know, maybe they feel more comfortable in defense. They could just lock out this defense, right? Which is what you would expect to happen. And then they just need to win the next attack. Something like that. It can help. So we'll see whether Rhythm can finally get the mojo back on attacking Church.
Well, if they do, I wouldn't want to say it's all over Red Rover, but I potentially would. Now, this is something that has caused, well, not really caused Noble any issues per se, but they've definitely not really even attempted to put the pressure. Now, President only has 1 Electroclaw on site, and that one is over at the Moto hatch. It does look like he's going to dirt to pick that second one up. So wasting a fair amount of time for Rhythm's attack if they were to ever even look at opening up dirt.
Yeah, I'm not really sure they have in the previous attacks.
No.
I haven't seen somebody pushing down, so we're not too much of a big deal. Bouncing just got tagged up a little bit. So scary start there. Drex has been tagged up as well. Noble trying to find this first pick, and again, Rhythm struggling to get this vertical control, which, given the bans again, is oh so important to get.
One thing you do want to note as well, Derpe with those impact frags will at the very least be able to deny those. There you go, ex-Kairos, and he should be able to waste enough time for President to come back with that Electric Claw by the time the second one goes off, which is exactly what's happened. And they will get away with not only their life, but with a cheeky little hold that wastes so much time there for Rhythm.
It does. They focused a lot of energy on that. So this is a good spot for Noble to be in. Led with his last frag grenade. Now toss that down. He's cleared the Electric Claw. So they only need one of these ex-Kairos pilots to go off because 3 went off previously. Looks like that's going to happen. So 55 seconds. They've got the kitchen control they need. They've got the vertical. Now they just need to set themselves up to be able to get this execute.
It's looking very similar to the round prior. It was a 5v5, 40 seconds left. Hatch was open. Is history going to repeat itself? President this time won't even allow them to get too deep. Oates does manage to make his way in. Bouncing as well. Back around with another frag. Nico has to try and hold blue as the rest of Noble scramble to get this defuser. They can't manage to do so. That's big though. 2 kills to come in. Leb, he will stop Nico re-entering armor. And now Derpe and Fisho Guy in a 2v2 Raven.
Oh, and Leb just turned in time to find the player flanking. Derpe's been tagged low. This looks like it is going to be Rhythm's round. They've found their mojo on this attack. Again, Manic, it's finished off by both. That's Rhythm back on match point.
Wow, what a big round from Rhythm. Underdogs by all means, and they have taken basement on a 4th attempt on the defensive side of Noble. I mean, dare we even ask what went wrong, Raven? Or was it potentially what went right for Rhythm?
I think Rhythm just timed their execute a bit better. Noble maybe a little bit too slow to react to the fact that Rhythm were ready. So while that player at AKs was watching the hatch drop, there wasn't enough follow-up to stop Rhythm getting into the advantageous positions. And you saw it bouncing balls. I didn't see where he got the kills from. But once the AK rack player died, Bouncer Ball's got the 2 picks, and that really opened it up for Rhythm because it meant they could actually secure the plant while still holding verticals.
It is probably very important to note the fact that Leb caught Fisho Guy coming to kitchen then was huge. I don't want to say lucky, but it was massive. It was like if he manages to take out that vertical control there, that last player on site, I would say has no chance with Derpe, you know, at the back of Armory just waiting for that player to peek. So, and my eyes may have deceived me, but it looked like Leb had just opened another vertical line as Fisho Guy came around the corner. So unbelievably big to find that kill and secure them the round, because now Noble are facing match points in overtime on the attacking side of Church. Insane.
It is insane, and you're so right. Leb had his hammer in the air no earlier than 1 to 2 seconds before Fisher rounded that corner. It was just such close timing, and I don't know whether Leb heard it or they had info, but it saved it for Rhythm, because if Leb had lost that, you're 100% right. Noble would have got that retake, I'm sure of it. So very big, and here we go. Rhythm, they will get the chance to defend Church, and something that Noble a little bit 50-50 on.
Oh, jeez. The old 50-50 hate. Now
we go either way.
Oh, no. It's on a knife's edge, Raven. It's on the fence, mate. It's on the fence.
I'm trying to think of others, but I can't think of others.
No, I have no other. Those are my defaults, so I have nothing else for you
Love
there. All right, well, there's been a minute wasted off the clock, Raven. And Nico, as expected, opening up these lines. He is on the sledge instead of the preferred buck that we generally see him on. Will that really play any effect? I'm not entirely sure, Raven.
I think it's about the nades. Feels like this decision. Bye-bye drone. Just gonna drive in front of the bullets. Nico got a good line there. He's gonna take out Novakes. That's big. That's the Kai gear. Very important pick. Also a C4, I would say, that's now off the board. So here we go. He is just gonna take no time at all to start tearing this.
I mean, that is disastrous for Rhythm, and obviously the Electrocore is not on the Armory hatch, so they're going to have to back the fact that Leb and Boats are going to be able to deny this. Don't know whether they're going to get there in time. It sounds like they've just managed to get close to it. The secondary impact comes out, and that's massive.
Very big that they've been able to deny that. Gonna have to put another set on there. Can they deny the pellets? Doesn't sound like it, so that's important. Noble, they've got the same control we just saw Rhythm had, where they've got these verticals, they've got kitchen hatch open. So now, Rhythm, can you do a better job than Noble at stopping this drop and stopping this plant from happening?
This from Derpe. Looks like Rhythm have an inkling as to the position of Derpe, so it may not play a huge effect just yet. Nico coming up again for a double kill at the time of need for Noble. Fisher guy just catches out the backside. Raven, 20 seconds left. Once again, it's going to be left to explode. Derpe, he's doing some damage from dirt. It's allowed at least one player to go unnoticed. This is massive from Noble. Monstrous, in fact, as they push us to round number 15.
Absolutely huge round from Noble, and Rhythm, they could not do a whole lot just then. The vertical's too strong. And here we go. The full distance matic again. Second time tonight. Rhythm versus Noble. Here we go.
Don't do it. Don't you go back there. Okay. Oh, no! I got baited so hard. We're going back to church. It's so cursed at this point. We have been pushed to round number 15, and we're going to go to church for a 4th time in a row. Hello? Oh, Raven.
They're going to pull an aggressive roam because here we go. We got the castle, we got the Oryx, we got the Vigil. They are going to go all up in the face. This is a big risk for Noble. I mean, this is it hasn't been seen yet in this matchup. So I mean, good call in one way because it's going to keep Rhythm guessing. But if Rhythm get the read on this, this could cost them the game.
That is the big one, isn't it? If. A big if.
Yep.
You would imagine that they have potentially seen that castle. And they will have the inkling. Oh, I am so keen for this. You got to risk it to get that biscuit. And by golly gosh, Noble are putting everything on the line, or so it seems, Raven.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Feels like it. This is very much about how can Rhythm adapt to this. They've only got this round. It's literally it. 2 minutes, 50 seconds. What have Rhythm got to deal with this change from Noble? Got 2 players up on the top 4 right now. It is President and Maloska, but Fisher guy's gone back. President back into bar. There's still a couple of players around. Nico hanging out Upper Cache stairs. So they're sticking this roam. They really are.
This is incredible. Round number 15, and we're seeing something that is unprecedented in this match. I don't think we've even seen so much as a 2-player roam. We saw Milo in the first half, potentially looking for, or second half, for that cheeky play, bouncing in the first half, but not have we seen a full roam strat from either team, especially with those bans on the board. Monstrous to start out. Leb goes down. That is the sledge. Raven. Oh boy, this is going to get interesting.
I mean, that's a big enough pick where they can just drop back, which is what they're doing. That was the important pick. Like, of all players for them to kill, that was probably the biggest. Because now, they've got no roamers to clear, so they can't get man advantages. They can't rush site because they're all back on site. And they can't get verticals because Sledge is dead. So I think this is really paying off right now for Noble.
Would you say big brain plays? I think I would.
I mean, the flip side to that is, yeah, they've got more hatch control, so maybe there are other attack options that's available for Rhythm. So it still just comes down to how to Rhythm adapt to this.
Yep.
But they haven't got much time, and it's scary. They're down a man. A minute 9. This is the round to get them this game. On top of that, this is the round to keep their season alive and avoid relegations.
So much on the line. We love a good story. And with that as well, Leb has been the linchpin for most of these rounds. You were saying before, it's so critical that that was the pick that they managed to get. Did they deny those Selma charges? It doesn't sound like they've fully denied all of them. And here we go, a lot of pressure from Rhythm as they start to open up pretty much everything. Noble have all 5 on site. I don't know whether Rhythm are going to be able to push through these lines. Noble look like they've locked down here, Raven.
Yeah, pulling out all the tricks, pulling out the tight angles. This is going to be about the info that Rhythm have. If they have enough, they might get it. Nico, though, gets on boats. 15 seconds to go, Rob. Looks like it's going to be a Noble match.
You wouldn't believe it if we told you from the start. Nico going for that last peak. 10 seconds left, and that is done and dusted. A flawless round and an unbelievable call from Noble to clinch the victory in round number 15.
Look, that's how the risks, they pay off. Noble, they decided to go for the roam for the first time the whole game. Rhythm, it totally dismantled their attack. So GG to Noble. They pulled through that. I tell you what, though, that was scrappy.
Wasn't it? Oh, Nico. Oh, sit down, son. 21 frags out of his mind. And I think Noble can say a big thank you in part to Nico's performance tonight.
Yeah, look, he had a stellar game. The verticals from Nico in kitchen, very important, but just in general, he was constantly getting his picks. I was concerned, though, in their initial defense half. He had a couple of rounds where he was just that first death, and it felt like it was always quite cheap. The one that sticks out was in that blue storage stairwell. I think he died in about 25 seconds or something in one of those rounds. But yeah, look, he had a solid impact in the end, so can't fault him there.
I mean, 8-7 is the scoreline. Rhythm have had 3 games go overtime. Now, I will preface with it wasn't Ferox, it wasn't LFO, it wasn't Akami that they've gone overtime with. That is Noble, that is Elevate, and that is Wildcard. Unbelievable from that front. But very quickly, before we keep talking about Noble, we have to talk about the valiant effort that was Rhythm, and we've got Yoshi on the line.
Hey, gents.
Yoshi, so close, but yet so far away. I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but I have to ask, were you guys expecting that last round? That was mental. I don't think we saw a proper roam strat the entire game, and then on round number 15, Noble decided to pull out something cheeky.
Yeah, we were ready for it. We'd seen it in their VOD before. But I think, it just comes down to people getting a little bit antsy. And we didn't quite have the crossfires set up for the Logi guy. So Leb dropped, and obviously, I believe it was Fisho took him out. But, yeah. So, and then after that, obviously the game plan was, well, we can't open kitchen, so we're going to push church. Got church open. Went to drop on the guy on the black box. But ash wall, bullet holes, so pretty rough.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna zone in on just Clubhouse in general. Some people probably would have even questioned that you guys took them to Clubhouse, given that it's notoriously for a while been known as one of their better maps. So I'd love to hear the insight. What was the thoughts behind going to Clubhouse?
Well, I mean, we knew we weren't going to Coastline. That's pretty much a given for the rest of the season, unless Knights, want to pull it out against us, which will, be a bit of fun. And then we figured that, Consulate, Villa, not so much. Haven't really seen much from them. So we kind of figured it would come down between Oregon and Club. And obviously, because of the way the coin toss system works, we've always had the second pick or first ban, and they've chosen the map every single time we've played, which is, obviously we left it down to Oregon and Club, and they picked Club, so it was the way it went, and they picked defense on OT, which got to us as well. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. And now that kind of leaves your season lying with the game against the Knights. Regardless of how close you've been, you've gone to 3 overtimes with some of the best teams in the ANZ region and unfortunately not been able to close out. So you come up, you said, against Knights on next Wednesday. Do you have any thoughts going into that match? Obviously, they are what would be considered the second best team in the region at the moment.
Yeah, look, honestly, I don't think we've... it's all come down to just little things in the end. We've been pretty close to taking maps off pretty much everyone, apart from Ferox and Akami. But I think that was more us getting in our own heads. So, we'll take the same strategy to Knights and just play our game. And whatever happens. Obviously, as you said, it's not really going to affect the standings. So, we'll be preparing for relegations, which we're not too stressed about. And, we'll be back next season doing our thing even better. It's a new roster, so we've got a lot to prove moving forward.
Yep. Well, I think you've proved a lot this season, and you still have one more hurdle, one last chance to prove yourself even more than you already have. So wish you the best of luck, Yoshi. Thanks for joining us, mate, and unlucky with tonight.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thanks, mate. Luck and Yoshi, hey?
Yeah, mate.
Oh wow, I can't. Yeah, no, that just sums up what's happened there. I'm kind of speechless as to how insane that match was, Raven.
Oh, look, this night has just been one of the most insane nights I think I've ever casted in Oceanic Siege. Just almost upset after upset after upset, if you want to call it that. I really thought Rhythm were going to get that. I really did. Once they got that first attack onto the church defense, I thought, oh, this is it. They're totally going to get this, but slipped away. They played really well. On the other hand, I think Noble played well, but maybe because I have higher expectations of Noble, I'm still incredibly concerned with the way that they've been playing coming into playoffs. They've got a lot to pick back up on if they really want to be where I know that they want to be.
Yeah, no, that is completely fair enough. And we're going to be able to hear from Nico, the man himself, right now. Nico, congratulations on your victory. Now, very quickly before we get into Raven's questioning, because I'm sure he'll go a little bit darker, that last strat that you guys decided, I don't know, man, I was just saying. The last round, you guys decided to pull off a roam strat. Were you saving that for something, for potentially that to happen, or what's not saving it for an occasion, rather saving it for that round in particular? Because I don't know, man, that was wild. We didn't see a single roam the entire game in terms of like a strategy, and then all of a sudden, bada bim, bada boom, you guys are pulling it out on the last round.
Well, I mean, obviously on roam 7-7 overtime, things can get pretty dicey, so leaving it up to the last round, kind of, it was just a split-second decision of like, all right, let's throw out something different. Let's just play our game and get the win. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Look, you guys you're into the playoffs, but your lead up to playoffs is been quite shaky, I guess. Would love to hear what the thoughts are like within the team, and what are the issues that you guys are currently facing?
That's the issue. There are a lot of issues, obviously, but the main sort of we'll watch our games every time and sort of pick out exactly what we're doing. But obviously, once you sort of like patch one thing, something else comes up, and it's really about like just that missing piece and just finding what that is. So yeah.
Well, I think I'm actually going to let you go on that one because it's a good finish to it. But I've got to say, before you go, unbelievable performance from you tonight, mate. 21 kills in the end. And not just that, but a huge performance throughout the entire series. So congratulations on that one. And we will see you for one final match against Elevate next Wednesday.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Whoo! Wowzers,
what a
that
game.
was... Yep. I'm not going to say the word. I'm not going to say it, Raven. I'm not going to say it. But that was ridiculously close. Like the
Yep.
wire, and like we're down here, you know, like...
Yeah.
Yikes.
There are structures you would find on a farm that were on fire. That is for sure. Look, I think that was a great game, and if anything, I think the biggest takeaway is that Rhythm have just proven that they are really a different roster than what we have or came to expect for them in Six Masters.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a great takeaway for that match and a great takeaway for this second, because we're going to go to a short break, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side, the last match, Wildcard taking on Ferox.